Whoa.
Wait, did we start?
Yep. That's going to be the first line of this podcast.
Hey guys.
Whoa.
Out there in the audience.
Hey, everyone who's not in our audience, too. Let's not exclude people.
Our agent will get mad at us.
Like, there could be someone playing our podcast way too loud in the gym.
Oh.
Someone could be accidentally listening, and that's not really our audience, but they're still listening. So, hello to you, stranger.
Unintentional listeners, welcome. This is going to be quite the episode to start with for you, but we hope you bear with us.
Bear? Is that our next theme?
We're already hinting.
Hello and welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm gonna say hi again. Hey there. I don't
Guys,
know.
you can't tell because of the power of editing, but that sentence took him 5 minutes.
Probably. This is episode 29 of the Tough Cut Podcast. I'm Matthew.
I'm Alex.
I'm Jake.
And this is part 3 of our big bracket. In honor of that, we're going to be tweeting out a link to the video game Godzilla vs. 3 Giant Monsters. It was released in the 80s in Japan.
Catch us on Twitch, live streaming.
An entire playthrough of it.
We should tweet out whoever speedruns, whoever beats it in the fastest time, we'll shout you out. Screenshot your thing and send it to us. We'll shout you out.
If you want us to play this live on Twitch, we'll do it. The game's pretty short.
Just a 6-minute Twitch stream.
Have they added Godzilla to Fortnite yet?
Don't they have the big lizard one?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I want Godzilla from Destroy All Monsters. That's what I want.
Me too. I want Manila.
No, I don't think that sentence has ever been said.
True. But you do have to protect him as one of your goals in Godzilla vs. 3 Giant Monsters. So keep that in mind, audience. But also, it's a ROM of, it's probably released on the NES. I don't know, man. So only play it if you own a copy, okay? Please.
The please really saved it. Someone was about to say, fuck you, Matthew, I'm going to do it. But then your please was so sincere that they're going to stop.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to become the number 1 Godzilla vs. 3 Giant Monsters speedrunner. So see if you can beat our time. With that, coming at you in today's episode, we've got Pacific Rim versus Cheaper by the Dozen and Destroy All Monsters versus Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Hilarious sentence.
Wow.
That I can for sure say has never been said before.
Yeah, probably not. What the heck are we doing here, Alex?
If you've never seen our show before, we make movie brackets and we talk about the movies. And the bracket theme this time is big. Big movies, big things in big movies.
Papa John's.
Sometimes just in the title. I don't think any of those movies moved on, though.
No,
They're
didn't.
gone now. They're dead. They don't exist anymore. Our podcast kills movies. That's what we do.
That's our new tagline. We're all about murder.
We say that the podcasts go and live off in a farm, but that's a lie.
And I'm sorry you have to find out this way.
Big reveals on the Tough Cut podcast.
Why did that really tickled my fancy? That really tickled my peach. That really tickled my other fruit. Anyways.
Tickled your peach sounds like a really interesting euphemism.
I tickled my grapes.
I did it. Guys, spoiler warning, we're going to be spoiling these movies and also, I guess, idioms.
Spoiled not in like a oh, you've never heard this before, but in a oh, I never want to hear that again kind of way.
Well, I'm excited. Let's get it going. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Wait, will this get demonetized? Just kidding, it's not monetized.
Well, it's not monetized.
We don't have a sponsor other than that ball shaving company that keeps asking us to use their products.
We checked out your account and it looks perfect for our content. Did they just take one look at my outline and be like, that dude looks hairy?
There were 3 guys making a podcast. Sounds like ball shaving is a perfect fit.
Needless to say, we're not sellouts yet.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, we don't shave our balls.
Audience has to find that out for themselves.
Smooth as a grape down there.
No, please, God, no.
Jake, would you like to start by introducing your movie in our first matchup?
Yeah, dude. My movie to move on is the movie to end all movies. Cheaper by the Dozen by Sean Levy, 2003. Guys, it's about a big family. What more do you want from me? Steve Martin, big family. The girl who was in the Missy Elliott music video. These guys probably don't get that reference, but for everyone else who did, shout out to you. It's just big family. They, a father has to be like, oh God, I got a lot of kids. What do I do? It's the opposite of that trope where it's like, oh God, I'm a big man. How am I going to take care of these kids? And that's the movie.
Wow, Jake.
Yeah. Did I sell it well? Do you think your significant other would be happy with the way I described Cheaper by the Dozen?
I think she would. I don't know how worthwhile this whole half of the episode is going to be, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to vote for Cheaper by the Dozen either way. That's going up against Pacific Rim. Big robots, big monsters, big ocean trench, big friendship.
Big Friendship by Del Toro.
Such a lovely human being.
That we know of.
I was
saying he is a lovely being. I was saying we don't know if he's a human being.
That is true.
I've never met him.
That we know of was so ominous.
Big intrigue on the Tough Cut podcast.
Tiny Makomori on set called him Totoro-san.
Yeah.
Because she couldn't pronounce his name, which I think is the cutest
so
thing ever.
cute.
That he's like, just call me this. It's adorable.
Remember when Charlie Day said, "Guess who's back, you one-eyed bitch"?
So something that's recently come to my attention about Pacific Rim.
I'm gonna cry.
Why? I'm confused.
No, keep going.
The way you just brushed past Jake. Keep going.
There is a several 100,000 word long fan fiction.
Like sexy fan fiction?
A little bit, maybe.
Right.
I haven't read it.
Lies detected.
He hasn't read it. He wrote it.
You're right. There's so much time has passed between last episode and this one that yes, I wrote a several 100,000 word fan fiction about the two scientists in Pacific Rim.
Dude.
Wow, it makes me so happy that that's what the fan fiction is about. I was expecting it to be pretty cringe, but that makes me happy.
They had the most romantic chemistry, I'd say.
Low key, they kind of did.
High key.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Promare. Rest in peace.
Yeah. It's okay.
Because it's been like a week since we talked about that.
It has been, and I have been sullen about it. I have sent many Snapchats to Jake and Alex of just me looking sad.
And they've all been like very sexually suggestive too. I don't know.
His sorrow. I mean, he's just been in that mental space of writing sexy fan fiction, you know?
Yeah. Wow. That's kind of beautiful. I want to be in that headspace.
And it's even more on the nose because apparently this fan fiction grapples with a lot of heavy subject matter in terms of mental health and things like that for, two science guys from Pacific Rim.
Matt, I love how you're saying apparently. We've already established that you wrote this fan fiction.
Yeah. Remember when Charlie Day said, "Guess who's back, you one-eyed bitch"?
God, that's so funny.
Cheaper by the Dozen made it past the first round, right?
Yeah, it did against the Big Sick.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
It's
go back to our conversation about the Big Sick.
Yeah,
is that what you're asking us to do? Is just talk about the Big Sick?
No, just Cheaper by the Dozen. The more I've thought about it over these past couple of weeks, the more I'm like, this has happened before on the Tough Cut. I think I like Cheaper by the Dozen too more than I like.
How many times are you going to say that?
And I really need to vet these movies like this before I pick them.
No joke. Cheaper by the Dozen 2 is really good.
I've love Eugene Levy. Like,
is he enemy dad?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
with
also
an
the
even
big family
bigger
dad.
family. Yeah.
Even bigger family? Damn.
Actually, I think his family's smaller, but it is a big family. I think it's like 9.
So the first Cheaper by the Dozen is sort of like the superhero setup movie. Cheaper by the Dozen 2 is when the big threat gets introduced.
Yeah.
Eugene Levy plays Thanos, and it's pretty inspired casting, if I do say so myself.
He has a great grape sack chin.
What we talked about grapes a lot. Do you think grapes will follow us? Do you think Hanes will follow us? Do you remember those Hanes underwear commercials where they like?
Do you mean Fruit of the Loom, which is the one that has grapes on it?
Well,
I know my underwear, Jake.
Well, no, isn't it like bought by Hanes? Doesn't Hanes own Fruit of the Loom?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Yeah, Hanes is a big company. And owns other smaller brands.
Let's talk more about Hanes.
That's how the underwear industry works. Hey guys, my fiance works in the underwear industry, so I know a lot about how brands are owned by other brands, and they do all the work.
And how does that tie into Pacific Rim, do you think?
Well, it doesn't tie into Pacific Rim, but it did tie into Big Man Japan. What company do you think made those big undies?
Big Man Japan isn't
we're
even
just talking about
in
all the
this
movies.
anymore.
We're just talking about all. Not only is Big Man Japan not in this matchup, it didn't go up against any of these movies.
Here's how we'll connect it. What do you think cost more to produce, Big Man Japan undies or all of the underwear for the Cheaper by the Dozen Baker's Dozen family?
I bet they had to do a lot of underwear takes of that meat underwear.
Honestly, I actually bet, like, no joke, the costume department hated working on Cheaper by the Dozen because, like, fuck these kids. And it's kind of evident because they dress awful. Their fashion, whack.
Yeah. And thanks for saying that, Jake, because normally it's me that has to comment on people's fashion.
Like my fashion all the time.
Only off the record, Jake. Come on, don't air our dirty laundry here.
Sorry.
Literally dirty laundry.
Meanwhile, costume design in Pacific Rim, they got fucking sweet robot suits.
Do they wear underwear?
So cool.
Ooh, do you think they're bare in there?
Which characters in Pacific Rim do you think wear underwear and which ones don't?
Charlie Day doesn't. Ron Perlman doesn't, and that's why they kind of vibe.
I think the son of the other guy, the hotshot son, he doesn't wear underwear for sure. No undies.
Idris Elba wears underwear, but he wears those like tight ones where like he's a model. You know,
for him it's like a military thing though. I think it's
his
part
is
of his
like
uniform.
Mike Calvin's though as well. I could see him being a Calvin. Maybe I'm just thinking of Idris Elba, but
you just want to see Idris Elba in his undies.
Yeah, yes, I'm not afraid to say yes.
Undies. Idris Elba.
Idris Elba undies.
Remember when Charlie Day was like, this is a new one, I promise. Remember when Charlie Day was like, they're like, you'd kill yourself, and he's like, or I'd be a rock star. That's my energy, Charlie Day. I feel like half the stupid shit I do, they're like, Jake, that's dumb. But I was like, but what if I'd look cool? You know? I'm just really fucking with Charlie Day right now.
Which is good because I think he is such a fun character in that movie.
The side story could have been like worthless, but they made it important, and I think it's really cool.
For sure. Which is pretty fun to me. Meanwhile, Cheaper by the Dozen, side stories.
Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, dude.
Why is he uncredited?
Why is Ashton Kutcher uncredited? Do you think that's his choice?
I will not be in that movie.
His agent was like, this is like, you can't do it. This is going to be a career ender for you if you get a credit in this movie.
Yeah, because he had such a blossoming acting career.
Yeah, you don't remember The Butterfly Effect?
Oh, shit, yeah.
Well, it's probably also after that 70s show.
Is that? Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, okay.
That's what he's famous. Yeah.
Okay, Ashton Kutcher.
Dude, where's my car?
Was he in that?
Yeah,
he was the car.
Is that?
That's why you didn't see him, because the car's gone.
Is there a giant woman in that movie?
Yep, I was almost gonna pick Dude, Where's My Car?
That is.
I was hysterical. But I knew you guys would shit on it, and I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Do you like that movie?
Yeah, it's one of my guilty pleasure. Like, it's an awful movie. Like, it's very bad.
I lump it in with Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
Yeah, it's no, and you're right too.
I don't think we have ever had a conversation more off topic.
So something I want to talk about for Pacific Rim that I think is really, really cool that I didn't know until I did a little bit more reading about this movie. The cockpits
Nice.
of all the Jaegers. You one-eyed. The cockpits of all the Jaegers were actually like all practical effects.
Yeah.
They actually
cool.
built them. And apparently all of the actors hated going in them because it's like a stand that actually gyrates and moves. It was apparently super hot inside of it, and you're also inside like the big Jaeger pilot suit.
Yeah.
So it was just like this sweaty, really intense like workout basically that you're just like sweating buckets, exhausted when you come out of. And I think that speaks to Del Toro's
Commitment, dude. Yeah.
commitment to detail.
Mm-hmm.
Is he did not want he wanted that the effects of the movements, the thrashing inside the cockpits, all to feel really real.
I will say though, that's great and all, but sometimes it came at the expense of other stuff that was like so obviously green screen and like it was brutal. And I was like, oh man, you did
Sure.
so well in other things. Like the green screen at the very end is the thing that pops out to me, like with the water. That was
Yeah.
brutal. I was like, oh man, like that could have been better, but you probably just ran out of money. Like that's simply what it is. Like it's not like a negative on the movie because they did so much care for other things. And I'm like, I can excuse that, but brutal, you know?
I think one of the things that's curious about that is that scene is such an egregious example because there are so many others where they combine practical effects with green screen
Yeah.
use. The Jaeger collapses after Raleigh has piloted it by himself in Alaska.
Yeah.
That like leg of the
Mhm.
Jaeger is an actual
real.
set piece.
Yeah.
Just the rest of the robot was green screened in, which is just so
That's why
fascinating.
I was disappointed, like when they seem to be lazy in other areas, you know?
It's so funny to me that you guys are talking about the green screen in that ocean scene. I didn't even notice. I was so focused on like them and their faces in that moment that
The
I
emotional
didn't
intimacy.
even look at the water.
See,
Well, we
I
know
mean,
how Jake feels
yeah,
about them.
My problem with that is I didn't feel an emotional like whatever with them, and so I was like, I like watching this movie because it looks good, but then it didn't look good, so I was like, oh no,
Adrian. That's what that voice reminded me of.
Adrian.
You guys remember Real Steel?
Hell yeah. I never saw Real Steel, but I played the fuck out of the video game of it. It was a good fighting game.
You're revealing yourself to be such a gamer on these episodes.
You know what?
That's okay.
Hey, I mean, I hope people have sped run by this point the Godzilla versus
Three giant monsters.
three giant monsters.
Wait, we talked about that in this episode, not the other one.
Yeah.
Wasn't that this episode?
Yeah, but maybe
How
they
could
stopped
they
the
have-
podcast.
Yeah, that's
and
what I'm
Stop
speed
the
saying.
podcast. I don't know that we
What
should
are
ask
you
our
talking
audience.
about?
I don't think we should
Stop
ask
the
our audience to
podcast.
stop listening to a podcast to play a game.
It's
So,
6 minutes. You're
If
fine.
well, that's only if they're good enough to beat it. If there was a cheaper by the dozen video game, maybe there
Holy
was.
shit. That'd be
What do you
lit.
think it'd be about?
Destroy all monsters.
I know this isn't what it would be about, but I would want to play a game where you play as Ashton Kutcher trying to escape the antics.
Ooh, it's like it's like Resident
it's like a
Evil
s-
Village.
It's like a Saw
Yeah.
game where you're like trying to escape their horrible traps.
There should be like an insanity meter, like that one GameCube game where like it fucks with the game. Like Ashton Kutcher slowly starts to lose reality, and then he thinks like, "Am I on a prank show?" And then like when he escapes, he does his own prank show as the only way to cope, called like Pranked or Punked or something.
Yeah, that would be a good title.
Yeah,
What if he has meat underwear the whole time? So it's like a timed thing because you're getting chased by the dog the whole game. And so if you get caught by the dog, it eats your grapes and then and the dog dies, and that's no good because dogs can't eat grapes. Audience warning, please don't feed your dog grapes.
yeah,
That'd be
that's
bad.
that's a serious warning. Don't do that.
Please.
Oh, nice. The please again. Your pleases are so damn polite.
Oh, wow.
They're so damn polite. Your pleases. Wow.
Something I think gets brushed over so easily in Pacific Rim that I just want to talk about a tiny bit because I think it's such a fascinating plot point. The fact that they're like, the Jaegers keep losing. End the program and put the money towards the giant wall. That we know doesn't work.
Yeah.
I don't
It's political
Understand.
commentary before they knew. what was going to go on.
Oh, damn. Wow. Del Toro could see the future and he was afraid.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The line in the beginning where they were like, when you fight in a Jaeger, you can fight a hurricane and you can win. And I was like, that's not true, man. Like, I know you're trying to hype up the Jaegers. You can't beat a hurricane, dude.
Well, maybe it's a category 1.
Well, you may be able to, like, I don't know, survive it, but you can't beat it.
It's a pretty cool comparison, though, that they like say you can fight a hurricane, and then the kaiju are like categorized like hurricanes are. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's kind of clever. I didn't think about that.
I really think the Cheaper by the Dozen family could probably beat a hurricane before a Jaeger could.
Which of the Cheaper by the Dozen characters, and you can't say the twins,
would
match up in a Jaeger? Which of them would work together in a Jaeger? Yeah, which kids are drift compatible?
Ashton Kutcher and the dog.
I would watch the shit out of that movie.
The dog would be too distracted by his nuts the whole time.
Just imagine the scene of Ashton, like you see the outside of the Jaeger and it's battling this huge kaiju and it's going back and forth as it cuts to the inside, and you see Ashton Kutcher's face sweat and some blood dripping out of his nose as he turns to his left. And there's just a dog. And he looks at the dog and he's like, he knows inside, it's unspoken because, they're in the drift, like they can hear each other's thoughts. And he pulls the release on the dog's thing and it shoots out into the life beacon.
No.
What if during Cheaper by the Dozen, during the scene where the dog is eating Ashton Kutcher's nuts, you see Ashton Kutcher look down and the dog looks up and they make like prolonged eye contact and you just see both of their lives flash before their eyes.
And then cut to they're in a Jaeger.
That's when they learn they're drift compatible.
Imagine
someone to eat my nuts.
Going into the drift with that dog, and you now, since your minds are melded, you know what it feels like to bite your own balls.
It's not even knowing; it's experiencing biting Ashton Kutcher's balls.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh,
yeah. So I'm ready to vote. Here's the thing. I don't. Wow. Yeah, no, I'm ready to vote. If y'all are.
I mean, I know what I want to vote for. I'm sure there's more to talk about.
I think we hit all the topics. I don't know.
All the major talking points, I think. All right, Jake, who you voting for?
All right. So, yeah, I could vote, and much to everyone's shock and surprise, I'm voting for Pacific Rim. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing that sold me was the Del Toro stuff and the care that he takes, and I just love him as a filmmaker. So,
like, that's surprising. Alex, do you want to ask Marina what you're allowed to vote for?
Hey, honey, do I have to vote for Cheaper by the Dozen again?
She said, "Duh." So I will be voting for Cheaper by the Dozen.
Cost of making your fiance hate the two of us.
Oh no.
I'm voting for Pacific Rim. The toll it will bear.
Thank you.
We'll take the heat, Alex. We'll take the heat.
We'll take the heat.
End this curse that I am under.
But remember, when you do frame it, just remember that Matthew went last, so he was the deciding factor.
I put the nail in the coffin. Yeah. And
I can say I fought so hard. I tried so hard. I'm so sorry, honey.
It's not like she listens to the podcast. Well, hell yeah. Pacific Rim moving on.
Pacific Rim in the finals. Wow.
And now we've got Destroy All Monsters versus Glide with a Chance of Meatballs. I haven't introduced one yet, so we'll start with Destroy All Monsters. I know it. I love it. The 1968 movie directed by Ichiro Honda, who had that sweet dedication at the end of Pacific Rim.
That's you trying to be like, oh, look at how cool it'd be if these went up against each other at the end. That's what that move is.
I'm already voting for Destroy All Monsters now.
Guys, let's vote.
Dude, Matthew's cheeky with his descriptions. He's always like, the best, the most innovative. Like, I love it.
I'm sorry. I'll be more objective. I'm sorry. My passion comes through.
I love it. I love your passion.
All the monsters living peacefully on Monsterland. They want for nothing until the Killax arrive. Space alien lady race that are actually rocks. All the monsters get together, destroy so many cities across the world, but then they all join up to beat the heck out of the aliens until they leave and are killed. And Godzilla's son is in this movie.
Wait, I like how you say all the monsters are living peacefully on Monsterland, but like it's not like they just like choose to live there. There are scenes in the beginning where they're like trying to leave, and the monster team is like, "We can't let them leave. Spray gas at Godzilla," so he goes back on the island. Like it's not like they just like choose to be there.
Too. That's exactly the voices.
Did you guys watch? I don't know if there is an English dub. I assume there is.
I watched the Japanese version.
Oh, I watched the English dub.
Is it
Is
good?
there an English
I don't think
dub?
I've ever.
No,
I've
it's
ever heard it.
atrocious, but it's so funny.
Oh, I kind of want to watch it now. That's why your comment about the French accented voice.
Yeah, I didn't
hit
remember that.
I was like, what?
There's a scene where it's like, "What's wrong? You'll find out. Hurry, come back."
I wonder who licensed the dub.
That puts
That's so
such a
funny.
different spin on this movie.
Yeah.
Well, it is going up against Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Inventor, Big Food, Big Mayor, Chicken Man. That's this movie.
The question I think we're all wondering: Brent gets big.
Yeah.
Versus the monsters. Big Man
Big Man,
Brent.
Chicken Brent.
Brent is taking on every single one of them besides maybe Ghidorah. Like,
Well, Brent in a chicken suit knows Kung Fu, it would appear. I think and the monsters are just kind of kicking and clawing. So I kind of think Brent wins.
no, Brent has form. Like he has precision.
Yeah, it's artistry.
Atomic breath.
Okay,
Just
it
more
would cook
cooked
the
chicken.
chicken. Nice.
Nice.
Nice. We're on the same page here. Delicious. I'm hungry, guys.
I
Fair
think
point.
Brent would have trouble with Rodan flying around. How Brent going to get up there? Chickens can't fly.
Can't jump that high either.
And okay, what's with the one monster, Matt? What's the name of the monster that jumps? You know which one I'm talking about.
You're thinking of the leaping man in Big Man Japan.
No, there was one monster that it was just like a T-Rex, but it jumped a lot and it had like kangaroo legs. Wow, you don't even know the jumping monster.
I want to say it's Kumanga, I think.
Could be. What was some of the monsters?
No, it's the spider.
Some of the monsters in this movie are so dumb. The spider just comes out of nowhere. But like the one that's just like an ankylosaurus with a bunch of horns that like charges at things.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Mothra's just a grub.
I love how poorly used like half the monsters are. Is like they have a cast that's too large for their own good and they don't know what to do with it.
And they're barely in the movie. Like, I wish the monsters were in it more. Oh, God.
I think that final battle where they all beat the shit out of Ghidorah makes up for it in my mind.
That is not the final battle. There's
It's
also
not.
a scene where a spaceship is on fire flying around and it's like Fire God or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way they call it, fire something. I
And
don't
then
remember,
it's
dude.
just a space. Like, why is that in the movie? There's no reason for there to be another fight with another thing that's jamming their signals.
Because it's cool. Also, I love I don't know if it's in the English dub, but the line where you have like this play-by-play commentator over the Ghidorah big
Yeah.
monster fight.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And then after the signal jamming ends, they're like, they instinctively know their true enemy, the Killax.
It really. There's a scene where it's like, have I told you my son is on the moon? Talking to that random cop. And the cop's like, is he all right? And he's like, yeah. This wild. I love that. I do have a question, probably for Matthew, Alex, if you know, chime in. Has Japan made any like modern kaiju movies?
Ooh,
I
modern.
know we've tried to like American whatever the genre with like Godzilla vs. Kong, whatever, blah blah.
I mean, Big Man Japan is kind of a kind like.
Yeah, 2007.
You know?
I'm talking about like
Recently?
recent. Like I'm talking ones that aren't aiming to be mockumentary and also like poke fun at the badness of like the kaiju. Like I'm talking about like what if they made like a,
there were some Godzilla movies from like the mid 2010s. I haven't seen them. Stuff like Godzilla, City on the Edge of Battle, Godzilla Planet of the Monsters.
Yeah, I would just love to see like a modern and like another political thriller or something.
Yeah, that would be so good. There was also the 2016 Shin Godzilla remake.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So there have been. They're not as good as the original 54 Godzilla, I think, is just such a actually good movie. Not to say that Destroy All Monsters isn't awesome, but they had a message they wanted to communicate. It wasn't just like, we want big monsters to fight stuff and destroy things.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, we want to critique the US's use of nuclear weapons and the destruction it wrought on our country.
I really want someone to remake this movie, but with the exact same budget and the exact same quality of costume, but like with better camera quality. And I want to see, like, I think that movie would be so funny.
We're going to be setting up a GoFundMe, actually. And we're going to do it.
Like, I would unironically love that shit.
It'd be so fun.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, how many sequels did it have? Just one?
Just the one, which also is a good movie. The second Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, I think what it does is very interesting in terms of sequels. It very much is similar to Shrek 2 in that it takes what happened in the first movie and expands on it in such an interesting and dynamic way.
Yeah. I remember really enjoying it. Is that the one with like one of the best jokes of all time where it's like there's a leak in the boat? Or is that the first one?
That's the second one.
Yeah.
But
that's
so
just
the
funny.
second one, though, is fully set up by the, like, beyond just the premise, like, oh, it's a sequel. None of it can happen without the incredible turn of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs where the food becomes sentient.
Yeah.
When the like pizza starts flying out of the meatball and chasing them in the flying car too, the gummy bears landing on the wing, incredible joke referencing Twilight Zone. Like
the
third act of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is so smart. And so well done.
Like the jokes are so clever, and it's such good pop culture like callbacks, and it's very well done. Like it's a very fun written movie.
I wonder what it is, but for some reason, I guess a lot of it just didn't click with me, or didn't,
Yeah.
Because like I totally didn't notice pop cultural jokes in the last third. I'm sure some of them I did. That's so interesting.
What I think is so good about the arc of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and especially in the context of this bracket, is that every move, like every ramp up in intensity and like edge towards the climax, is literally a move of getting bigger. The premise just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The food getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
The mayor getting bigger.
Getting bigger. The food getting bigger to a point of like bigger intelligence.
Yeah.
I just think that final arc is so good. And then the conclusion of looking down at his feet, the spray on shoes, spraying it up, that's referenced all the way in the beginning of the movie of I stared at defeat and found hope. Like he looked down at his feet and found it's just, I think this movie has so many smart jokes, and going into it, you expect it to be food puns. I said this last time, but like it has no right to be as smart as it is. And I think it's so good.
I guess I was just like I picked up on some of this stuff, but like I guess I was just so put off by how uncomfortable their relationship dynamic was that like it permeated through so much else of the movie, because like the real time my experience taking notes, I like a lot of the humor up until his first attempt to kiss her, and then like I have basically no more comments about jokes other than Brent.
That's so wild to me. Like the rat birds, like so many of the jokes just like coming back. It references itself so much in such an effective way. I think it's wild to me that you didn't see it, or it didn't leave an impact with you.
I wonder how long it took the creators of the book to come up with meatballs as the food he would be like Cloudy with a Chance of.
Considering the book is like 30 pages long.
I bet that was the hardest part, because like
choosing what food it's going to be.
Cloudy with a Chance of pizza. Now that doesn't hit as hard. Cloudy with a chance of like asparagus.
Is the correct answer.
Yeah,
meatballs is 100% the correct answer.
How did they land that? That's such a stroke of genius. That's what I'm giving credit towards right now.
Yeah, to the adaptation.
Yeah,
some of the lines though, even the food puns, I think are really clever. Like the scene where it first rains cheeseburgers and Sam Sparks is on the news and she's like, "You've never seen a shower meatier than this." Like that is such a well-crafted pun You know,
Also,
I just think it's good.
I think something else I didn't really like with Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs, just because you mentioning her news coverage, is just how ham-fisted they are about like
ham-fisted.
Ham-fisted. Thank you.
Good one.
About
good one.
like she is pretty girl. Can't be actually smart. Must play dumb.
No, it's not that pretty girl can't actually be smart, must play dumb. It's that can't be pretty if smart. It's not that can't be smart if pretty. Like it's doing the other thing, which I think is like the whole movie is about. Smart people can be cool and interesting, which is like that's what this movie is trying to show and do.
Yeah, I get that. I just think it misses with Sam specifically. Like I just think it's so convoluted that she has to pretend to be dumb.
Yeah, and it's also something that Anna Faris has to do a lot in her career. Like for all the movies, like it's a trope she has to play a lot. It would be more interesting to see like someone animated who isn't just a blonde white woman like playing into that same trope. I kind of see where Matthew's getting at with that. I do see how they tried to like expectations subvert it. I'm in between that fence where you guys are at right now.
I think it's fair.
I don't think though they're trying to like subvert expectations. I think they are playing into that trope purposefully to not like twist expectations, but to twist the trope itself of being like, it's not a pretty girl can't be smart. It's that a smart girl can't be pretty, you know, like I just think it's a different thing. I get where you're coming from, but I think it hits.
I don't know. It just didn't for me is sort of my thing, but that's okay. You know,
not enough monsters.
True.
You know, you're saying not enough monsters. What do you guys think about Monkey Steve?
He's in the movie.
I think Monkey Steve's he's a little monster throwing poop around, but
he's a little monster, not a big monster.
So he listens to Lady Gaga.
Big in his heart.
When I saw Destroy All Monsters, this is when Jeff Bezos was about to launch into space, or he did launch into space.
Yeah.
Wow, his rocket ship really looked like their rocket ship, didn't it?
No, that's what I'm saying. I was like, in another world. That? Yeah, in another world, this is what the Jeff Bezos launch leads to, and Jeff I kind of prefer that timeline.
Gets in the moon,
and Monsterland is compromised. Yeah,
that's so funny.
I love how much they cut to Godzilla and Destroy All Monsters, and it's just him going rah, 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 rah. Like that's it, and then they like go away. They just cut to him randomly. It's so good.
We haven't talked about the dad at all in Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs. What are your thoughts on that dad?
Oh, I think he's a good cartoon dad. I just like his mustache. And
I like how his mustache mirrors his eyebrows.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Why do you hate the dad?
I don't hate the dad.
Why do you want to kill the dad?
Why do I want to turn myself into an animated character, go into this movie and destroy their town because of the dad? I'll tell you why.
Please do.
Because I don't know, man. Why is he so not supportive of his son for a lot of the runtime?
He's a nerd.
He's not trying to be unsupportive. He wants his son to be more like him. And then by the end, he turns and realizes why he's wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like he's you know, and he also wants there to be some form of like success, and he doesn't understand, and it's like his wife is dead and fucking.
It's a classic single parent story.
Yeah, realistically, I don't actually have a ton of problems with the dad.
Matt wants to kill the dad. What?
What? And he's gonna do it.
This is a question I'm levying at both of you. If you were a monster from Destroy All Monsters, what monster would you be? And how would you destroy the dad?
And how would I destroy the dad?
It's a good question. There's so many monsters to choose from.
I really like how the spider one just shows up at the end, but I think I would be...
hated that. You actually just reminded me of that, and I hate spiders.
I'm sorry, Jake.
It's okay.
He lives on Monsterland. He can't get to you.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
They didn't show it on Monsterland. I don't think the spider was on Monsterland.
Don't tell me that.
It lives on Monsterland. They all live on Monsterland.
Thank you.
I would be Manda, which was the long snake dragon. I like that was the one scene where I thought it looked really, really good of the snake Manda like winding around the highway and like coming around. Like I thought that one scene of practical effects looked really good. Everything else, you know, was what I expected it to be.
It's from 1968.
Yeah, exactly.
on a limited budget produced in Japan. Yeah. I think I'd be Ghidorah because I'm the best, and
King of
I
monsters.
would. Yeah, I am the king of monsters. I would destroy the dad by grabbing him with 2 of my 3 heads, and then grabbing his head with my 3rd head and tearing him into 3 pieces.
No joke. I watched Twilight. I watched all the Twilight movies this week, and that is how they kill vampires. They rip their arms off and then their heads off, and then they light
And
them on
their heads.
fire, and that's how you kill a vampire. Is Flint Lockwood's dad a vampire? Did Matt
Yes.
just lock into something?
I did.
Yes.
Why do you think he doesn't know how to use the computer?
He's too old.
Yeah.
It's always cloudy. We never see the dad in the sun until the end. Does the dad sparkle?
No, he hasn't killed yet.
He hasn't.
Well,
Oh,
Monster,
I'd be the. I'm switching it up. I'd be the lead lady alien, and I'd kill people with my political tactics.
But be careful not to go somewhere that's too cold, or you'll turn into a rock again.
Yep. I'll turn into the Rock.
Flex Cabana, come on
Yep.
out.
Oh shit!
No.
Wait, did we get? Oh damn! They were supposed to
No.
come. I thought.
No, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, unfortunate, or Dwayne Flex Cabana Johnson.
Why did I write this joke? I thought he was going to come. Matthew, you're supposed to tell me. What the fuck, dude?
Unfortunately,
You
I
fucked
No,
up
couldn't
this
the
is
whole
really
script,
unprofessional, dude. Like
Matt, you fucked up the
Oh
whole
my
script.
god. Dude, I
couldn't
know I
book
only
him.
met you like a month ago, but this is really unprofessional, and I really think look, I replaced that dude Jake. No one noticed. Like, I got the better mic. Like, I want better from y'all. I want better.
Sorry.
Sorry,
okay.
completely off the record. Anyway, we're
Wow.
back. I'm Jake.
Jake. Can I just read this comment from the internet really quickly?
Yeah.
Unless someone else has like a point of comparison.
Go for
No,
it.
go for it.
From Laserbem. Destroy All Monsters should be renamed the Brutal Gang Stomping of King Ghidorah by Godzilla and Gorosaurus and Towel Boy and Eurus, while everyone else just sits around playing cards.
That's a good title, though. It's short, sweet, succinct. I think people really gravitate towards that.
Yeah, it really grabs your attention.
Someone should put that on a movie poster, actually. That'd be pretty fucking hilarious.
I can make an edit.
Yeah, please do.
It's all right, but Final Wars does everything better. I disagree with this person, but yes.
This is where I stand finally. I wish, on one hand, with Destroy All Monsters, I wish there were more monsters. And in Cloudy, I never, I got enough food. So, it delivered on the meatballs, but the monsters didn't deliver on the monsters. And I think that's where
Interesting.
my heart's at right now.
So is that
So
your
is that your
vote?
vote?
Oh, I mean, that's just like my. They don't know what I'm going to vote for. I could switch things up and randomly do Destroy All
could.
Monsters.
I mean, after saying a sentence like that, if you vote for Destroy All Monsters, it kind of seems like you have an agenda.
I do.
I have an agenda, and my agenda is the Big Monster Lobby. I have been paid off by Big Monster to get you to watch movies with kaiju in them.
That's fair.
And I played the audience like a fiddle.
Wait, Matt, what's a big monster in Big Sick?
Think about it.
It's Ray Romano. I'm sorry, I answered my own question.
It's Ray Romano. I'm sorry. No, he had to sneak one in so he didn't seem obvious what he was doing,
Mm-hmm.
He's playing the long game. You can't
Deborah.
fool me. I worked for Big Monster as an intern for years.
Yeah, you probably saw me high up in that corporate chart.
I sure did, and I hated you.
Yeah,
Deborah.
that's why you voted against the Sweet Fire Dragon in Promare.
That's exactly
so fucking
why.
rad, dude.
That's exactly why. Do you guys feel comfortable voting right now?
Yeah, I guess we can.
Yeah, I can vote.
I am triumphantly voting for Destroy All Monsters, despite the fact that all the monsters are not destroyed.
Yeah.
And they just destroy Ghidorah.
Yeah.
I am voting for Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs because it does get cloudy and giant meatballs fall from the sky. And also, I think it's a better movie.
Tisk tisk.
So, much to everyone's surprise. Kidding. I'm voting for Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I couldn't do it. I was thinking, should I do it? But I was like, nah, I shouldn't. I do think that Destroy All Monsters is worth a watch with some friends if you just want to have a good, funny time.
Destroy All Monsters is a good movie. It's definitely worth a
It's
watch.
on PBS, guys.
I
Go
had
watch.
to put in
Yeah.
a kaiju movie,
I'm
so
glad
I
you
went
did.
for it's big bracket, big monsters. No kaiju movie do you get more quantity of different monsters.
Absolutely. So then what's our final looking like, guys?
It is Pacific Rim versus Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Big
That's
robot,
pretty exciting.
big food.
It was almost Cheaper by the Dozen and Destroy All Monsters, so I think
What a world it would have been if that had been the final.
and it was like very closely almost that. So that's pretty insane. Guys, we'll do honorable mentions for our finale, so keep a lookout for that. You know, the world's your oyster. There's a bunch of things that are big, and we'll probably include any and all of them, you know?
Probably not oysters, though. Oysters are pretty small.
Yeah, and try to
Damn.
beat my speedrun record of Godzilla vs. 3 Giant Monsters.
Oh, yeah.
We will be streaming it on Twitch if you ask us to.
If you ask us really, really nicely. And we're talking about you, person listening. We're talking about
Yeah.
one specific person, and you know who you are. If you ask us, we'll do it.
And we are considering asks to stream Destroy All Monsters in tandem with asks to read the Sonic script. So if you ask us to play Destroy Godzilla vs. 3 Monsters, it also counts as a vote for us to read the Sonic script.
And maybe
It's a
we just
little-
want to
a
read the
little-
Sonic script. Maybe I bought a fucking $100 Sonic costume for nothing, audience. I expected to get those 10 tweets, audience.
Hey, we said they had a lifetime to do it. We're going to do over like 60.
60 years old.
There's going to be like 80 Sonic movies by then in the same universe. It's going to be as big as the MCU.
Yeah. And I look forward to Shadow the Hedgehog's first appearance.
Amazing.
Because it's going to be
Shadow
awesome.
the Hedgehog.
And he's going to make out with some human girls.
Oh, God, I remember that video game.
We'll stream that too if you want us to.
Yeah, follow us on all the socials. At Tough Cut
Follow
Pod,
us on
Twitter,
Twitch.
Instagram.
We're gonna play video games, Sonic Adventure Battle 2. I low-key
Dude.
love that game. I'll spend
I love that game.
hours in the Chow Garden.
Dude, that's
Because
a
I'm
good
a
game.
gamer.
If you like the show, share it with a friend. And that friend has to have played Godzilla vs. 3 Monsters.
Or have dressed up in a Godzilla movie.
Nice.
Before we leave, this is a question for everybody. Do y'all remember when Charlie Day was like, "Guess who's back, you one-eyed bitch"?